Barcodes on the papers, isn't there?
Yeah, right on the front, Leanne.
Turn on your mic.
You have to tell me that every time, Kelly. I know.
We are 1 minute late today, but that's okay because Maggie is worth waiting for, and it's a Maggie day with a Maddie Poppy. Is it Maddie Pop or Maddie Poppy?
Maddie Poppy.
And Maggie saw her in concert live right
she's
here.
She's an Iowa girl.
She's an Iowa girl, and was she on
won
The
American
Voice?
Idol.
American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to the American Idol winner concert.
Yeah.
Ooh, I might have to get your off, Maggie.
I know. I got a picture taken with her.
Oh, well, gosh.
Yes, and I told her I voted for her.
Okay. It's kind of like the presidential election, you know, that who you voted for or whatever, but we won't go into that. It's pretty exciting today because Maggie has a Christmas project and she's going to show us how she made it. It's Peace on Earth. It's got lots of stuff to show us. And here's the project right here. Peace on Earth will come to stay when we live Christmas every day, a Helen Steiner Rice quote. And that tree is a real tree right there, and very dimensional. It's so cool. So good morning, Donna and Beth and Barb and Jane. Hi, Jane. It is a TGIF.
And I've got a little homeschool for you.
Oh, should we do that first?
These sisal trees are a natural fiber, and how they make those is they're from the fiber inside an agave plant down in Mexico.
Really?
And they pull away all the green stuff and they end up with this kind of stuff, and they make rope out of it.
Oh, I've heard of sisal rope.
Yes.
I didn't know how to pronounce it, but
I think it's sisal or sisal, but I'm pronouncing it sisal.
if you do sisal, I'll do sisal.
Okay.
Tomato. How's that?
Martha Stewart has a video on how you can take that rope and make your own bottle brush trees.
Oh my!
But why
gosh.
do that when you
When you can get them? We have them actually.
2 in a package.
Thank you, Tim Holtz.
Yes, and not only that, but these, you will notice they're flat on the back. And I'm going to open one up because I've got to show one anyway.
And these are online. And we'll go over all this later.
You get 2 in a package, but this is the cool thing. They're flat. So that's what's nice about using them for dimensional projects is because they lay flat.
I like that. Now, could you cut that down if you had some good wire cutters?
Yes, in fact, I'm going to show. That's what I did with this.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And these look cool in the back of a pickup truck for Christmas. You could spray paint or stain these black and put orange bulbs for Halloween. But they're so cool.
They are cool. I like the idea of doing it for Halloween.
Yeah, and Tim Holtz showed how you could spray it a dark orange, a medium orange, and a yellow, and they look like candy corn because you know that's his favorite Halloween candy.
I love it.
But we're going to work on that. But that's a sisal tree or sisal tree.
Sisal or sisal, we don't know. But Judy's watching, Bonnie's watching. They say TGIF, Happy Friday. We are memory bound. And things got a little crazy yesterday, and our video went kind of long. So if you stuck with us, if you were more than the 3, Dawn and Katie and I at the end of the video, thank you. We appreciate it a lot.
Tell them not to go away though, because we're going to go right from Christmas to Halloween.
We are. We're going to jump from Christmas to Halloween, and we have a few new items to show. It looks like
Would you like me to? Do you want to do that?
Should we do that real quick?
Sure.
We don't have a lot of new things, so it'll just take a sec. But we do have a couple things, and let's do it, Maggie.
All right.
Let's make it happen. Well, one thing that a lot of our Halloween lovers are going to be happy about is Mr. Bones is back in stock from Tim Holtz. That's the Sizzix die, and it's $16.99. And then we also have back in stock is Sweet Treats. And Teresa has used this for just about every season. You think Christmas, but you got Halloween candy, you got Valentine's. She's done a lot with that. That's back, and the lights are back. The what tiny lights, and these are $7.99, but you get 2. And this is a sneak peek for later, isn't it, Maggie?
It is.
We're gonna light up your morning today.
We're
Just
going
wait.
to light
You're
it
gonna
up.
love it. And then I really like this layered poinsettia. It's called Seasonal Flowers. I call it a poinsettia. Poinsettia, tomato, sisal. But this has got your stamps and your dies, and it's only $12.99. So you could use just the dies, just the stamps, or you can use both.
I like when they put them both together.
And then, you know, Maggie, we've talked about the liquid glue and how we're having a lot of trouble getting the Nouveau glue that everybody loves. But we did get the Lawn Fawn glue tube back in stock, and this works really well. I have this on my desk right now. It's $4.49. It's got a fine tip, so it's a great alternative.
We don't want to cause a glue frenzy, but you better stock up.
There are some things going on about glue. All right, then this is back in stock. This is Lovely Lilacs, and that is a beautiful, beautiful stamp. And I'm going to flip it over, Maggie. It's $21.99. It's from Photoplay, and it's got birthday sentiments, appreciate your kindness with heartfelt sympathy. You've been on my mind. Wouldn't that be pretty just to put on a card and send that to someone just for no reason even?
Beautiful.
And it does have a die set that's $15.99, so if you wanted to die cut your flowers. And looks like, what is that round piece? Is that like for a little pot or something? Anyway,
I bet it is the pot that you put the flowers in. Yes, here I'm not.
Good. That's all right.
Who knows what I was
doing? And there's one more that's very similar called Peony Bouquet. Oh wait, that's the die. Let me show the stamp. And this is just all flowers. And you could do a lot of layering with this. It's $21.99. It's Peony Bouquet. And you could pop up, they've made it so you could stamp these smaller pieces and pop them up on the large one.
Oh,
and then it's got
genius.
look at the little messages that fit inside the tag. And there's a sample of this on the back too. I'm going to flip it around. And it has a coordinating die set that's $17.99. Then we're on to Sizzix. We're back on to Sizzix.
Somebody wanted to know if there were Lily of the Valley in that line.
We'll have to check. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we have a Lily of the Valley, but we'll have to check on that. Okay, back in stock. Oh my gosh, this opulent. Do you say opulent or opulent, Maggie?
I say opulent.
Opulent? All right, we'll say opulent. This is the Mystical. It's back in stock, and that is $26.99. And you get 50 sheets. That's a lot. And then we've got this Rose Gold Metallic. That's $19.99.
And for those of you who haven't seen that, there's 6 different textures, isn't there?
There's mirror,
5
pearl,
different.
matte, glitter, and brushed metal.
All in the same tone,
All
right?
in the same tone. Really nice. And then, gosh, I believe this is new. This great big, isn't this new, Dawn? This great big sticky grid?
Yes, that is great.
This is a big sticky grid. So if you like the sticky grid, Teresa, if you're watching, here you go, because she uses it all the time and shows it. It's $8.99, and you get 5 sheets. So that's a pretty good deal. You can cut this apart and you can reuse it over and over. Maggie, you use the sticky grid too.
Yeah, if you like to make the little houses, the little Tim Holtz houses, you almost have to have that for the windows and doors.
I use it in my Misty.
Dawn said she uses it in her Misty, so it's got lots of uses to kind
It
of hold
probably
things
keeps
down.
it from lifting up when you open the door, right?
It does.
Okay, this is the texture tool from Sizzix. It's $5.99, and we're going to have to get, well, first show the box, because it kind of shows you, it's got grooved sides, and it's got 4 different types of textures, including a smooth one, so you could use it kind of like a palette knife, you know, to kind of smooth over your...
So you could use that like on texture paste?
Mm-hmm.
Gesso?
Lots of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And
How
it's
they do that.
ergonomically made because it's got a little dent in the middle. It's puffy and has a dent. So
Nice.
it's good for your arthritis, I guess. I made that up, but
Hey,
I think
looks good.
everybody knew I made it up. All right, then the other thing that's back is the Tree Rings Mini, and we have used this a lot in samples. It's cool because it's got your embossing folder and your Biggs die. That means you can cut thicker material and you can emboss and cut at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but the same thing. It's $24.99, and that's it, I believe, for...
Kelly, my favorite thing to do with those rings is to cut a whole bunch of chipboard ones and then glue them together, and they look like a real
piece of wood, right.
I love that.
Cool.
TJ just said they had an earthquake in California.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, an earthquake in California. Okay, Maggie.
Okay.
TJ, I hope you're okay, and I can't imagine being in Iowa. We can't imagine having an earthquake. Okay, Maggie, what? We got a lot of people watching, and look at this project. Are you going to tell us a little bit about it?
I am, and this is a kit, so we made it very easy for you. And in the kit you will get one of these Tim Holtz frames like this, and it comes in 2 pieces. And it's a really sturdy frame. You know, sometimes you get these real cheap ones, but this is a nice piece of background wood and then the frame. And then you get this piece of paper, which is the background. And then you get this birch paper, which is printed. This piece isn't, but yours will be printed with this quote.
I love that quote.
You'll get the tree. You'll get a whole bunch of these, I don't know how many, of the bulbs, and I'll show you baubles. And then Kelly's husband, Doug, sawed these from a real derecho tree. He sawed these, and they're...
Oh, yes, these are derecho logs.
Yes, and this is what they look like. So he cut them in half even. So just like the tree, that it'll sit flat. So you'll get one of those in there too. And then you'll get a snowflake.
Now, if some of you are new to Memory Bound or Iowa, we had a derecho just a little over a year ago, which is kind of like a hurricane that doesn't move. Isn't that what they called it? Or a tornado that doesn't move, it stays in one place?
Yeah, it doesn't go in a circle. It's just straight winds, straight
and
flat
we had
winds.
Lots of damage and no power for quite
It
some time.
lasted for about 45 minutes and then went on to
Oh, it
Eastern.
traveled 700 miles.
Yes.
The derecho winds did.
We, I wanted to let you know some of those Sizzix items show out of stock. We haven't got our order posted yet. Diane's working on it right now, so they'll be available a little bit later.
Okay, so
Before you start, they're asking about 49 in Market, the fall, and the fall stuff is on its way. It has shipped.
Okay, in case anyone didn't hear that, the new fall 49 in Market is in a truck on its way to Memory Bound, so it's going to be here very shortly. You think early next week, Dawn?
Yes.
Early next week, and we are going to have an amazing album kit with that collection, so stay tuned.
And Sharon wants to know if we showed yesterday's products. I don't know what that is.
Yesterday's projects
We can show
are right
yesterday's
there.
project. Okay, if you missed yesterday, Katie was here, and she showed us the folio that she made with the Monster Mash collection from Photoplay. And she, of course, has a great direction sheet. Look at her son Jack right there. That's so hilarious. So if you're wanting to make a Halloween project, this book is so cute. And it's got flips and pockets and tags.
And she showed how to make this yesterday. So lots of flips and folds and tucks and pockets. She showed how to make a 8.5 by 11 and turn it into a 3-pocket folder.
Yep, it's really cute, really cute. Okay, the Simple Stories Fall, which might be one of my top 2 fall collections this year, is shipping next week. So it's probably another week out. But we are the first one to get it as far as shipping. They're shipping our order first.
That's what they told us.
They told us that. And so that's that. Oh, Cheryl says Iowa's on the new Madron fault line, and we have earthquakes in southern Iowa. Oh my gosh. The new pink fresh stamps and dies, we're looking at those. Boy, we got a lot of questions today.
I posted the link for those, for the pink fresh. Is that what she wants
The
to
Christmas?
know? Oh, Christmas? Oh, sorry.
Christmas?
I posted the link for that.
Okay, the reorder of the Enchanted Autumn. Sorry, I'm reading. Jane's asking about that. That's probably going to be here late next week. So we'll have that late next week, and then you guys really, it is gone. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. All right.
And then we also showed this yesterday. This is a kit. This is the Enchanted Autumn Interactive 6x6 Interactive Album. And this is the kit for that. And it does have pockets up at the top.
That is a really cute book. That's the Buildin' album designed by Joey from Photoplay, and you're all going to get to meet her in a few weeks on our Facebook page here.
Yes.
Pretty excited.
Yes.
Donna said that yesterday we said we were going to show the new stuff today because we ran out of time, but I think
the
that's
stuff
what we've
we
been
showed,
showing.
Yeah.
That's what we've been showing. So we're all caught up. Thanks, Dawn. We're all caught up. All right, Maggie, sorry about that
That's
little
okay.
interruption, but we're used to
Answer those
aren't we?
questions, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, here we go. So you showed us
Okay.
what's in the kit.
Yes, and I'm going to take you quickly through some of the elements of making this kit, so it will be so easy, because once you see how easy it is, you're going to want to make one.
You're going to want to make even more.
Yeah.
And Maggie's kits always have really good directions in them.
All right, so we're going to start out with the Tim Holtz frame, and these come just one in a package, but you can also get a set of 2 in a package, which are smaller, which I think is what I used on that scarecrow thing. And then he has like a little variety pack. But am I correct? These have been discontinued, and
Yes.
we got as many as we could, right?
The frames, if you want just a frame, they're $9.99.
Okay, so the first thing you do is I'm going to take I used walnut. Lots of times I like to paint these, but sometimes paint can be very opaque, and so sometimes I like to make it look like it's been stained instead. So this time I used walnut. Walnut has a little bit of black in it. I like to use walnut and ground espresso kind of back and forth. To me, they're kind of the same, but
The kit, sorry, Meg, I didn't mean to interrupt you. The kit's $29.99 if you want the kit, and it is online under shopping and kits and Christmas kits.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this. Oh, that's coming off.
Uh-oh, she's losing her little foam thing. Do you need another one?
Yeah.
Dawn's going to grab one for
So
us.
this is what we do while we're waiting.
Michelle wants to know, Maggie, who asks more questions? Our viewers or the little kids you used to teach in school?
Well, probably the kids at school. They basically never stopped.
They never stop. You go home and have a quiet moment.
No, I just went home to my own kids.
Look at Maggie. She doesn't stop for anything. Dawn went to get her a new foam because hers was the Velcro's off of it, and she keeps going. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
That's the right side.
Okay, perfect. Oh, what's wrong with this?
Do you
Did it
have?
not
Is
stick?
it
Oh.
her thing? No, she's good, Dawn. Her thing.
Here we are. Okay, that solves it.
Dorothy said they had an earthquake in the early 70s, and they thought it was a truck going by until they saw on the news it was an earthquake.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Well, now we know what an earthquake would feel like in Iowa. I'm sure it's much more serious in California.
So you can press as much as you want into it to get it as dark as you want. And I'm not going to do the whole thing because I just wanted to give you an
You can
idea.
see the change, though, just from using Distress ink.
Yeah, and you want to get on the inside there. And then what I did, just to show you that because Tim Holtz ink is water-based and it does react with water, if I couldn't get it quite perfect and I couldn't get down in there, I just took a wet paintbrush and just, I don't know what's on that paintbrush. I think someone forgot to clean it out. But see how just taking some water spreads that stain out?
Yes, I do. That works really well.
And so that's what I did after the fact. After I got it all inked, I went in with a wet paintbrush, and that got down in those crevices, and it looks more natural.
I wondered how you were going to do that, Maggie.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned something amazing this morning already.
So that's how I got the stained look on that. So you can just do that with any color ink.
So we can see the difference here between the two sides. So you could make it green if you wanted, if you
Yeah.
had a green ink pad.
And different shades of brown, and you could do black. I've done black before too with the black soot. So anyway, I'm just trying to get this a little dry, but after you've completely watered it down and gotten it the tone, now if you decide that you want this a little darker, just go over it again. Dry it and go over it
dry
again.
it first, okay.
So you would do the whole frame that way, and you could just let it dry naturally. And you know, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, oh, let's
Wanna
just
go a little darker?
make it a little darker.
I
So
would
see,
have never colored a frame with distress ink, Maggie. I would never have thought of that.
yeah, it works just like an ink, or it works just like a stain.
And it's not as messy, and it washes
No.
off your hands. You know how stain is when you're
Yes,
staining
and it gets
things.
sticky. And okay, so that again, you can get it as dark as you want. Now,
Love
what
it.
you want to do too is then also do the sides of this, because this is going to be right here like this, and so you want the sides to match. So I just did the sides of that.
So here's Maggie's finished one. You can kind of see. Now, if you're just joining us, we got Maggie here today, and she's our mixed media guru. And she's showing her Peace on Earth kit that has everything, all the supplies, the tree, the poem, the frame, the background, the baubles, to make that. And she's
Okay.
giving us some tips on how to do it. Oh, I like that already.
So that's, you would do the whole frame like that and all the sides.
I love your paintbrush trick. I can't
Yeah.
quit thinking about
well,
that.
I couldn't quite get down in there, and I didn't want it to just stay white. But I got in such a hurry that I forgot to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Well, we're still here, Maggie. You can still tell us.
before I did it. Now, actually, you can see
She's
that
digging in her bag there. In her
probably-
bag of goodies.
it's probably not that big a deal, but lots of times before I ink, I like to just go around and sand just a little bit. So if there's any finish on there, that will prevent the stain from soaking in. I don't do, as you can see, you really didn't need to do it too much, but it is in the
Might help
directions.
it absorb, because
Yeah.
I do think a lot of things have
Yeah.
kind of a finishing coating or something.
So I
on
forgot
them.
to tell you that.
That's all right.
Okay, so then the next step. Now, at the time, I had some gold luster wax from Sizzix. Where's this? Oh, can you want to grab me that silver? It came in silver and gold and rose gold. And at the time, we had gold, so I used gold. I think I did this on the scarecrow thing. I used the luster wax to pick up that that little design.
trim.
So, since we are out of the actual Sizzix gold, we do have a tube called white gold. It's not as gold. It's a little bit more subtle, but it's the same stuff, just a little bit of wax. But what I thought, why not show you it in rose gold?
I think that's a great idea.
This one, yeah, that one's new. Okay, we'll put that one back over there before I forget. Okay, so we do have in silver. We have it in silver. I thought I had
So
a
you have-
silver one
so you-
open.
so
that I was
there's
gonna show you.
options.
Yeah, there's
So
options.
you have the metallic wax from Prima, from Finnabar, and it's called white, and it's white gold. And you're gonna show us the rose
I'm
gold.
going to show you the rose gold. We are out of the rose gold. We have silver.
So
But
you
I
could do
think
silver.
would be real. I thought I had an open silver.
Probably any
but I
metallic
don't-
would be good.
Yes, I don't see it.
And what about that paint? Do you think that would work? That
Well,
metallic paint?
yes, and so I brought out paint too, and I actually have a little bit of gold paint, and I thought I could show you
Let's
that.
try it. We'll have options.
So, but I basically thought that silver would be cool, but what I wanted to show you is how to use this. It's kind of the consistency of shoe polish. Put a little bit on your finger, tap it off because a little goes a long way, and just go across here like that. Now that's going to give you a
that's
very
pretty.
subtle color. I thought I had a silver open. I wanted to show silver, but I'm going to show you some gold paint.
You know, Maggie, I think you know, looking down on it, you can't see it, but let me
Can
try
you
to-
see it a little bit?
Yes. It's just kind of blurry. I can't get it in focus. Sorry, folks, I can't seem to get it in focus. It does have a little sheen, and what I think you could do is you could even make your frame a different color. Like
Yes.
that pretty green.
Well, I'm going to show you what you could do with gold paint. And again, don't put too much on your finger. Tap it off. And so gold paint is going to
Oh,
do
yeah, that works just like
the
the
same
wax.
thing. So, isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really pretty, and I think silver
I do
would be
think silver
gorgeous
would be-
because of the baubles that we have in
And the
there.
green, I think silver would look good. Now we do have a gold paint if you don't have any at home. It's
we
the
have
new
that in
Sizzix.
silver?
It's the new Sizzix creamy acrylic paint. Everybody's loving it. So
Yeah, so you can do it with paint. You can do it with luster wax. We do have this in the white gold. It will be just a little more subtle than this. And any paint, silver paint, I think would be really kind of pretty.
a lot of
with
people
that.
might have that all.
Yeah.
And Chris is asking about what about luster wax, and that's the rose gold that Maggie showed us. And we do have luster wax in silver.
And I think the silver would be really cool because it would pick up those silver baubles that we have
Sizzix
there.
has been out of luster wax for weeks and weeks.
Okay, so that's that step. All right, and then the next thing you're going to do is, I really don't like the in-your-face red and green of Christmas. I like a little bit more subtle colors of the, just more
I think
neutral.
it's more neutral.
So I am always drawn to this paper.
Yes, she is.
I've used projects.
You'd never know it was music notes on the back.
Music notes on the backs, and it's made by Moxie, and you can't even get that anymore,
you
can
can't
you?
get it anymore.
But we have enough for all the kits, and so I cut a piece like that, and what you will do is you will adhere this with medium, multi-matte medium. I'm not going to glue that on there. And then what you're going to do is, using either liquid glue or matte medium, you're going to adhere that just like that. And then I use these clamps because I want to make sure that I get it even and that it really gets glued. So I take clamps. You can use,
we have clamps at home that
yes.
Doug uses in the garage.
I think big clothespins might work, but you just want to make sure that it's even all the way around, and then clamp it and let it dry. So that's what that would look like.
Maggie, we have a question since
Yes.
you're kind of in between your directions right now. That I can't get Dawn. She's asking about your shirt. I think she just joined us.
Oh,
She wants to know about your shirt.
is Donna from Iowa?
I don't know. I don't know, Dawn, if you're from Iowa or
Oh,
not.
Dawn.
But even if you're not from Iowa, Donna, you probably know Maddie.
About 3 years ago, an Iowa girl won American Idol, and she's from up by Waverly. It's a little town called Clarksville, and that's kind of up where we're from, where I grew up. And so we liked her, so we actually went and saw her at the Clay County Fair up in Spencer. And then a couple of weeks ago, she was in a little town really close to where I grew up. So my sister and I went to see her, and so we had to buy a T-shirt so she would.
Of course.
If we bought a T-shirt, she'd let us take a selfie. So I took a picture with her.
So she got and told her that you voted for her.
Yes, which
I don't know why, but I find that really funny. That's good.
I said, I voted for you, by the way. Can we have a selfie? So she was, and she's such a hometown girl. She was actually at the booth selling her T-shirts.
Oh, she
Her
was?
and her dad and mom, they all
Oh
work
my
together.
gosh,
So
that's so cool.
yeah, so she's kind of all over Iowa right now, trying to break into the big time, I think. So, okay, so that will be the frame. So then the next step will be this piece of birch background, and this is a Bow Bunny paper, I believe.
Yes, I think it is.
Love this paper.
So if you love the birch, let me grab it here, Maggie's. It's, whoops, I got it upside down. It's Joyful Christmas Birch from Bow Bunny from Joyful Christmas.
And look at the back.
And there's the front. Oh, Maggie's showing you the back.
Can't go wrong with
So
a
if
green.
you don't want to make this, but you love birch, this is a great paper.
And what I like, Kelly, is this stuff on the side. I did not use it in here, but I love this. It's got one here and
Yeah.
one here, and I just think that's so pretty. But you can use this birch for so many things. Backgrounds. I think
Be a
we
good
made
layout.
a layout.
We did.
We
but
did
I
a
can't-
sample layout
Oh, you
at
did
one
a
time.
sample layout.
We
yes.
did. We did. So what I did is I cut it a little bit smaller, and this piece is in your kit, and it is
Do
printed.
they need to cut it smaller?
No.
It's
they have this, and it's already printed. So you will get this piece right here, and it will be printed for you. I just didn't have an extra one already printed.
That's perfectly fine.
So,
We'll all use our imagination.
Yes. So
Michelle said Maddie sang the national anthem at the Field of Dreams
she
game.
did the night before I saw her. She
Oh
did,
my
and so
gosh.
she was
She was
telling.
warming up for your concert.
She did, and she said it was a really neat experience. And I just no, that's okay.
What do you need, Maggie?
I need a distressing tool. I thought I brought it over here, but I think I brought
Do you want me
ones to sell.
Diane's so good.
Diane's going to go grab one. But anyway, yeah, she sang the national anthem at the Field of Dreams, and she says that was a really neat experience. And she had to time her song to coincide with the fighter planes going over.
Oh.
And so she said right while she was singing the big note, this guy's going like this, and she thought he meant for her to speed up. So she cut the note short, and then it turned out he wanted her to keep going.
Oh my gosh.
So that was kind of a...
How...
But
I didn't know you could just, like, in the middle of the song, like, change it up.
yeah,
When-
well, when you're singing a cappella, I guess you can...
Oh, she was... Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we have a distressing tool. Thank you, Diane. If you don't have one of these, we have them for sale in black and gray. But you can use the edge of your scissors. But what's cool about these is there's a little blade on the inside of each one of these things. So it'll last forever. And I have a funny little
I have
story.
One. I just used mine.
One of our customers wanted to be able to crochet on an airplane ride to like Australia, and it was going to be like 20 hours or whatever. So she couldn't take scissors on the plane. So
She could take that?
She took this and wore it as a necklace around her neck.
Ah!
And that's
My
what she used to
gosh.
cut her thread on her.
So if you're a sewer, crocheter, do cross stitch, this would be a great jewelry accessory.
Yeah.
Get a nice
She
chain.
said it
and a-
worked.
maybe put a little gem on the front of it or
Ooh,
something. Add a charm.
what about one of those liquid glue, the top of Nouveau liquid glue? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Uh-huh.
That's a little stone.
It would, or maybe a Google Eye.
Yeah. Oh, funny. Okay, so you can use any one of these blades, but you're going to, again, this edge of scissors works well, but this is a lot easier. And I got some people are afraid to do this. You got to really not be
I'm gonna
afraid.
show them over here, Maggie. You even like kind of ripped it in a few places because you want it to look more like birch. Right?
Yes.
And the rougher it is,
Yes, and birch
the more birchy it is.
bark is all curly and torn.
Now, many of our viewers know that this is Dawn's chalkboard,
Yes.
fingernails on the chalkboard sound.
Now the thing is you want to hold it where you're working. You don't want to hold it over here and try to work over here because it doesn't work. So wherever you're working, that's where your other hand wants to be.
That's a good tip. Okay, while you're doing that, we have a question from Nancy. She wants to know the name of the green paper. And Nancy, it's made by Moxie, and it's piano, or from the Musically Inclined collection. And Moxie went out of business, which is really sad because they were an Iowa company. So now, as far as scrapbooking supplies, we have Reminisce. That
Okay.
still is here in Iowa.
Don't wear black pants. Okay, so once you have that distressed, then I like to see over here on the left top, not right in the center. I like to make a tear like that. And if you want to, you can make that tree will cover that one. So you could make one down here if you wanted to. And you just kind of go like that. All right, so then you take your distress ink, and I
So
just
we're back to walnut stain.
walnut. I felt like walnut
But
looked.
if you had another brown, you
Oh.
could use that.
You could use gathered twigs. You could use another. My go-to is ground espresso. That has a lot of black in it. But if you do it like this, you have a little bit more control over. If you put it down like this, sometimes you get too much of a brown frame, and you just want it
You
to
just
be
want
the
the
edges. Yeah. And I always just kind of cut across the corners, kind of make it so it's not so square. And then I like to go in where I tore it. and go in there and get that white so it's not showing. So there is your piece, so it will look like this, and your quote will be over here. The one that you get in your kit will be over there. Okay, so then I just glued this into here and kind of centered it. And what I like to do is when I glue, like with a matte medium, I don't go clear to the edges. I just keep about 1/4 of an inch. So then you can kind of do this, and you can actually even curl up some edges like that, and so it doesn't look so flat.
Okay, that's a great idea.
So you never want to go all the way to the edge. Okay, so that's going to be in there like
Maggie,
that.
I didn't know that. That's okay. That's 2 biggies for me today. That using the paintbrush to spread the distress ink, because I have inked things before that were uneven and I didn't really know how to get into the crevices, so that was amazing. And then I didn't realize about leaving the edges unglued.
Almost every layer that I make, I never really glue all the way to the edges because I like it. Then I can do this, and I just like that look. It gives it a little more depth.
Okay, and we have a question from Bonnie. The birch paper is called Joyful Christmas Birch, and it's from Bo Bunny from their Joyful Christmas collection, and it's got the black and green buffalo check. Couldn't think of the name of that for a minute on the back. I don't know for sure if it's online, but you can absolutely call us and get some of that if you like. I think it's online in our Christmas theme.
Could I ask, Leanne, could you get me some like matte medium or just collage medium? I didn't come very oh no, never mind, I've got it. Found it. I did come more prepared than I thought.
She's more prepared than she thought she is.
Okay, so a lot of people ask, what's the difference between Distress Collage Medium and Multi-Medium Matte? There's really not a lot of difference. Whichever we are carrying that day, that's what I pick up. I have been told that this dries a little faster than Matte Medium, but basically I use it interchangeably.
Right.
It's
so either one will work. I know Tim has said that that dries faster. He has said in classes that I've had with him that when you stick it down, you stick it down. So
yeah, I go back and forth. Just depends what I have. But this is Collage Medium, and so we're going to move on to the tree. So this is where you're at. You're going to have this glued down, and this will all be ready to go. And then we're going to move on to the tree. Again, sisal or sisal is
I love that.
It's a natural material. So what's nice about that is it soaks up stain. You could use any of the spray stains and spray it. I think that Rustic Wilderness of Tim Holtz would be beautiful. And what you can do is you can just spray into it and then mist it with water and kind of get it variegated a little bit. And then when you have it the shade, you can kind of tap it off a little bit. But any of the Tim Holtz sprays will just soak right into this.
When Rochelle Christensen was here, and she's one of Tim Holtz's designers, and she was teaching classes, she sprayed all her trees with the Distress spray in our garage.
Oh, you're kidding.
She sprayed she got her class.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is a little bit too long. So I take my trusty wire cutters and cut off. Maybe. There we go. Cut off a little bit of that because
a little too much.
Yes, you're going to want to be able to.
It's not going to look real.
Right. You want to be able to put that thing down here and not have it that far away. And I might even need to cut a little bit more. Okay, so the first thing I did was I used...
So 1 second before you go
Yes.
on. Sorry. Cindy's asking about making the tree green. On Maggie's project, she left the tree natural, but you could certainly make it green if you wanted to, or for another project if you wanted to make it green. And Maggie was just telling us how we would do that.
You can use... Do you want me to go grab one of his green stains?
Sure.
It doesn't have to be green. You can color it any color you want.
Yeah, you could make this a light green. You could do red. You could leave it natural.
Now, I'm not sure the difference between the oxide and the regular Distress, but this is one of his new colors from last year called Rustic Wilderness. Wouldn't that be just beautiful on there?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you just spray the tree because it will soak right in.
Get out your splat box, and you can spray it in there or any box.
I wanted this to be a very neutral piece, so I took this, and the first thing I did was,
yes, I'm curious.
yeah, this is
Carolyn's idea is you could keep the long stem on the trunk on it, the piece that you cut off, and you could put presents under it. So if you kept that wire piece on it,
oh yeah,
that Maggie cut off, you could definitely do a project. Here's the little piece, because we do have the trees. You can get just the trees if you want, and then you could put presents under it. That's a great idea.
I wanted to be able to take one of these and rest it. Doug even cut me a few extra. I wanted to be able to rest it right on the edge. It gave it a little bit of,
And we spent quite a bit of time, didn't we, Maggie, trying to figure out what to put the tree on.
And he did such a good, and I wanted it natural, so it was just perfect. So thank you,
it
Doug.
looks good.
Okay, so this is a product called Distress Glitter Dust Vintage Platinum. And this is what it looks like. It is very, very fine, and you don't want to sneeze or inhale while you're working with this.
So it's $7.99 for that glitter dust.
But it's just beautiful, and it'll last you for 100 years probably. So my first step was I just took my finger.
I'm curious how you did this, Maggie.
And I just went like this.
That's not what I was expecting. Was anybody else expecting that? I wasn't. So you would use your collage medium or your matte medium.
Liquid glue, if you want to do that, that would work too. Anything that's going to dry clear.
Now, is this the glitter that kind of expands too when it's like you use it but it never goes down?
Well, that's what I mean. I've used it, and then look at it.
And look at the tree after she gets it done, how wonderful it looks.
So you want to be quite generous with this because this is such a subtle glitter. Now, if you didn't want that vintage platinum look, you certainly could use this.
Here's the rock candy.
Yeah.
You could use the Distress Clear Rock Candy glitter. They could use Diane's famous mix.
I thought of that too. Okay, so, and you could mix this with this glitter too. Okay, so now I've got it covered.
Now I'm wondering what you're going to do, Maggie.
Who knows if this is the correct way, but this is how I do it.
Here we go.
I'm going to put a paper towel underneath it. That might contain it a little bit.
Here we go, everybody. We're going to have glitter on our faces and on our clothes, and
it just is very flyaway, but oh my gosh, it's
you
just
could
so
use your glitter
beautiful.
duster for this too. If you've got a glitter duster, you could probably use that.
And I kind of let it sit for just a little bit before I shake it off. Shake it off, isn't that a song? What's her name? That?
Sure.
Yeah, shake it off, shake it off. Who is that?
I don't know.
That girl, that young girl that sings that Shake It Off.
Shake It Off?
Okay.
We need Dawn here. She's really good at music
so
like that.
all that stuff goes down inside the tree, so you really need to shake it off.
Maggie, my husband hates glitter. This would be a great project to do at home.
And it's just fly away. I'm not kidding. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And you can do as little or as much as you want. I probably did a little more than I did on my actual
They're
tree.
saying Taylor Swift. So
Taylor
you
Swift,
are more
that's
hip
who
than
it
I am.
is, Taylor Swift.
Thank you. We have such a great group because they help us fill in the blanks.
Finish our sentences
Yes.
for us. Okay, so again, a lot of this can continue to shake off. I think that's beautiful. And once it dries, that glue behind it will shrink back. So it will not be as covered as this. You won't see as much.
Well, and it hasn't dried. Yeah,
right.
It'll dry.
The glue
and
will
it'll dry
shrink
clear.
back.
That dries clear. So if you're
But
worried
isn't
about
that pretty? Okay, so then once you have that ready, you're ready to move on to the baubles. Let's see, what did I do with those baubles? Oh, I found some extras. Tim Holtz used to make baubles. Does he still make them anymore, or are those discontinued too?
I'm not sure, but it's possible they'll be coming out with his new Christmas line.
I know he's coming out with bubbles. They're
So
not
maybe-
baubles,
maybe
they're
they'll
bubbles.
Be a little different.
But we,
Luckily, we have some for everybody.
in your kit, you have a little bag full of them in different sizes. But you also, look at this. This is by
It's a new Prima.
Prima. Look at this. Wouldn't those be beautiful on that tree? And they're all colored for you already. But I think that's gorgeous. That's the fall colors. And then we also have these and these. These colors, they're not as varied sizes. They're smaller, but wouldn't those be pretty on there?
Those are really fun for projects. Now, those
Yeah.
do have the holes in them, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
you would just, when you lay them in there, you just make,
Make sure it doesn't
sure it's
show.
on the side. Yeah. So you have options to do that, but in your kit, you will get a bag full of these. I think there's about
The
20.
little, Tim calls that your losables.
Yeah, there you
Take
go.
a class with Tim Holtz. The
Okay.
bags with the little things are called
So
losables.
now I'm going to show you how to color those. And we're going to get glitter on them too.
Maggie's got glitter like it's suspended in the air.
So you're going to get probably about 20 of these. And so you can just put all of them into this little condiment holder.
Now, if you use a container at home, you will not be able to drink coffee out of it again or
Yes.
anything.
Do
So
not use anything good.
Use something you don't care about because alcohol ink doesn't come off.
Yep. And so alcohol ink is for anything that's non-porous. And so if you put this on your nice white dinner plate, it's yours. Okay, so I just put, you can just put all of your baubles
I love
that
watching
you got.
do this, Maggie.
And I used, for this project, I used mushroom, which is probably all of our favorite color.
Yeah.
It's very neutral, but it makes things look very vintagey. But after I saw this yesterday, I thought, oh my gosh, I could see those on there.
I can see you taking a jar of those home.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. All right, so we're just going to take a little mushroom and we're just going to squish it right in there like that.
You know, a lot of people have that caramel now because of dyeing the Scotch tape. I
Yeah.
wonder, what do you think that would be like?
It might be pretty. And you know what? Actually, I'm looking at these. This mushroom seems a lot more brown. Sometimes it appears more gray. But I think that's really pretty.
It looks like it's vintage.
Yeah. So what I've done also with mushroom is you can take, and I think I showed this to you on the Halloween, where you color it a color like orange or purple, and then you add just a little bit after it's dried. You put a layer. It makes it more vintage. Okay, once you have it covered,
I'm
then
showing them your little baubles here
I
in your
just
tree.
dumped it out. But see, you know, every lot's a little different. That looks a little more brown to me. Okay, so then I just kind of separate them. And look, they're getting glitter on.
They're going to be glittered.
Okay,
Glittered
so
and alcoholed.
they
get
just,
light as they
yeah,
dry.
and they just have a real, look at that. Look at the coloring on that. It's just beautiful. Just reminds me of the old-fashioned ornaments.
Well, it's hard to believe those were those white pearly things,
Yeah.
and now they're...
Okay, so once you have those put out there, you just kind of have to let them dry a little bit. Yeah, see, they are turning a little more gray. I like that. But I like the fact that they're not all one color.
Yeah, it's a lot of
They're kind of
variances.
mottled. And the one thing about these baubles is they do not have holes. So you can just lay them in your tree. If you have little pearls that have holes, then you're going to want to hide the holes just by gluing them on the side. So I'm just kind of trying to speed up the drying here. They will try to connect together like that. So you got to...
Janet says it looks like mercury glass.
It does. That's kind of the look I was going for, was just that little mercury look. And you know what? While we're waiting for those to dry, I just realized that we need to do the little snowflake that you get at the top.
Oh, okay.
Now the snowflake that you
The
got
tree topper.
in your bag has had this removed. So all I do
you did that for
is-
everybody, Maggie?
Yeah,
That
you
was
should
so
see
nice.
it. I'm still sweeping them up in my kitchen because they fly usually. Okay, so that's just that. So let's go ahead and color that. I'll just lay that on there. What did I do with these?
While you're
Okay.
getting ready to color that, Gail has a question about the Scotch tape alcohol ink, and we did that a couple weeks ago. You have to use a glossy Scotch tape, so you don't want the invisible kind, you want the kind that's glossy, and we do have it for sale on our online store. It's like $1.99 under adhesives.
So see how that mushroom alcohol ink just made that a lot
Here,
more.
let me get one that's not
Here, I've
dyed.
got one
You
right
have
here.
one?
Yep.
So we can see the difference.
So it just made it a lot more vintage looking. Let's see.
And you can use your alcohol ink, any colors on any of your metallic or metal
Yeah,
charms.
so see how this is all new looking and this is just a lot more. And I'm not sure which snowflakes you got. You might have gotten one of these too. I'm not sure.
So they're all
Just
a little
depends.
different,
They're all a
just
little
like
different.
real snowflakes.
Just like
no
real
two are alike.
snowflakes, yes.
Maggie Chris says she absolutely loves this and she ordered it already.
Oh, great.
So if you're
Great.
just joining us, Maggie's here today, and she is giving us some tips on her new Peace on Earth mixed media kit. And it is a frame. It's a wood frame. It's what, like 5x7 or 6x8, something like that.
Yeah.
And the kit comes with
Something
your
like that.
something like that. We want you to know it's a nice size. The kit comes with your tree, your baubles, your trunk, your printed poem, your extra paper, and all the directions that Maggie has put together. And she's put a lot of thought into this, as you can see.
So, Kelly, do you want to take a screen so they can take a screenshot of what they would need extra to make that right there?
Okay, so if you get the kit, you're going to need your multi-medium matte or your collage medium, a paintbrush. We talked about the gold luster wax or a gold metallic paint or silver or whatever you have.
Pewter might be kind of
Pewter would
pretty.
be great. And that's what she put on the edge around the frame. And I do think silver would be neat on that too.
I do too.
You're going to need some walnut stain ink
Or
pad
any dark
distress,
brown.
or a dark brown. You're going to need, to dye your baubles and your snowflake, you're going to need mushroom alcohol ink. You're going to need the glitter, and Maggie used the vintage platinum from Tim Holtz, a liquid glue and a heat tool, and then some type of clamp, so when you're gluing your frame to your background, you can really have it held there strong for a while it dries.
And sometimes I've even used rubber bands too, and then
Oh,
set
there
a
you
book
go.
on top of it.
Whatever you got, make do, right, Maggie?
Yes. Okay, so these are dry, so I'm just going to show you how easy it is to glue these in. If they don't have holes, these do not, then you can lay them in anyway. If they have holes, then you're going to want to put the glue so that the holes are on the side. So you've got different sizes, so I would start out with the big one. Put a little glob of collage medium and just press it down in there.
Oh my gosh.
Like
So
that.
start with the big ones.
I
and
would
just
start
kind
with
of,
the big ones and kind of tend to have the big ones maybe more to the bottom, but kind of in a subtle way so that you don't have big, little. So I put quite a big glob.
and this kit's $29.99. I think this is good for beginners, people doing mixed media projects, or if you're experienced, it's a fun project. It's one of those projects. Dawn and Diane's family, they always do a kind of a craft project on Thanksgiving, and I know we're still a couple months out from Thanksgiving, but this would be something everyone could make together on that day for something fun to do.
And so it doesn't look like you did big to small. Go ahead and tuck some little ones down in there. I think I put down liquid glue, but you sure can just use this stuff. If you don't want to use your finger, you might want to get the
Maggie's
liquid
going to have
glue.
very messy fingers when she gets done here.
Oh, let's see. Let's put one in there.
And a lot of the extra, I'm going to call them the extra things you need for this, like your matte medium or collage medium, that's stuff you use for a lot of projects, and your mushroom alcohol ink you can use on a lot of projects.
And there we go. I think you'll get a few more bubbles. And then,
Yeah, so
I
then you
just
stuck
stuck-
the star with the same matte
yeah,
medium.
I think it works. Liquid glue, that. You just have to let it dry.
That's the hard part
And
for
I-
me, Maggie. I get impatient.
I know. I tuck it in so that that bottom one kind of goes into the tree. And there you have it. And then basically all I did was put some matte medium along the back spine, I call it. Put quite a bit. And then it just got glued right here with that wood piece
So
at
it's
the bottom.
glued to the inside of the frame.
Yes, and I had some of it overhanging, but the actual tree spine is actually glued to
I think the
inside.
overhanging part is what makes it really cool.
Yeah, you
Love
want it to a little bit. I tried to put it out a little bit more, and it just looked too wobbly. So as long as you've got some hanging over the frame, but just glob on some of your collage medium, and just lay it on there, and voila, you have an instant little Christmas decoration.
Laura says super cute. She loves it. I want to give a big shout out to Maggie. She doesn't know we didn't plan this, but her projects are so usable. Maggie, I really mean that about when you do a mixed media project. Some of the ones I see online are fun to make, but they're not something that I could actually use. You know,
I try
might
to
have
make
fun making
something
them.
that it would be something I would give to someone.
Right, it'd be
and
a great
display.
gift or something to put in your home on a little easel or lean it on your mantle with some greenery and stuff. But your stuff is always amazing.
Thank you.
Maggie. Thanks for making Memory Bound look good. We
Well, I
love
hope
it.
you enjoyed. They're quick and easy. There really isn't anything hard to do about it. And again, if you wanted a little more color, you could do already pre-colored, or you can color your your baubles another color. You could color them green.
I think you could do a green.
and green and red.
Kind of like the background, or red.
They call this a fall color, but I don't know. I kind of think that's a beautiful Christmas collection too. I don't know. I was kind of attracted to that.
we have the kits available. They're $29.99. They're online under shopping and kits and Christmas kits. And we also have the components. If you want to do something on your own, we have the they're called half trees. And you get 2 in a pack. And what are they, Maggie? $8.99?
$8.99.
$8.99 for 2.
And if you have a big pickup, like as part of your home decor, those would be perfect to spray with different shades of green. Put them in that pickup. They'd be beautiful.
That would be. Or if you had a big canvas, you could do like a group of trees.
Now, you get 2 in a package, and I was also doing some reading about sisal, so I knew what I was
we're
working
educated.
with.
We're getting
yes.
educated.
Somebody said that if they are a little flattened, that you can just run them under some warm water and reshape them. Now, I haven't tried it, but I wouldn't worry too much about, because they're going to come like that when they're in kits like that. They might get a little flattened. But you could try misting it even with a little warm water and kind of lifting it out. But I don't think once you get the baubles in there, I think you'll be fine.
And we had a question about the snowflake, and here's the snowflake that Maggie put on the tree she made for us today. And those are charms we have, and they're 79 cents. And if you want one, you could just call and say, I want a snowflake charm or 10 snowflake charms or whatever. We don't have them online.
There's different ones.
Yeah, there's lots of different ones.
I think these would be pretty on a necklace. I just love those.
It would be.
Look at that. What do you call that little thing? The part that hangs on the chain. I mean, that looks like something that you'd find.
Oh, like well, it's not really a jump ring. It's just,
Yeah.
It's really, whoops, there's my finger. It's really big.
But it's pretty easy to cut off those little loops.
Obviously, you did a few of them.
Yeah, they were flying everywhere.
Okay, so we thank you, Maggie, so very much. That is the Peace on Earth framed kit, mixed media kit designed by Maggie, and you're going to show us a peek of what's coming.
Yes. Can we turn the lights out?
Sure. You want to go turn the lights out?
I'm going to turn the lights out because you got to get the full effect.
Maggie's turning the lights out. And So we're going dark. We're going dark. While Maggie's turning the lights out and getting her stuff. Okay, and the lights are out.
Okay, yesterday you had the cutesy side of Halloween with Katie.
Oh yeah,
all
with
that
Katie's,
cute stuff.
With this book of Katie's.
Welcome to the dark side.
So Maggie's not a cutesy Halloween person.
No, I like the dark. So I experimented for the first time with Tim's tiny lights.
So this project is coming, well, it's available to purchase now. And Maggie made this, and it has the lights on it. It actually looks really cool right now, Maggie.
Yeah, I'm going to set it here and go turn the lights back on.
It's an etc. tag.
Oh.
Diane's going to get the lights for us. It's an etc. tag, one of Tim Holtz tags. She's got the lights in a little pocket on the back.
The size is 14 1/4 by 8 1/4.
And we'll show you some details here. I mean, look at the cat. He's got gem eyes. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, Maggie made this, changed it, added some more.
Improved.
Some more. Added some more. And we think you're good now, right,
Well,
Maggie?
here's the problem. I keep walking by it and looking at it, and I keep thinking, okay, I think it needs something hanging over the edge here. Or like a few little cobwebs or something. So yeah, the longer it sits there, the more I add.
We got to get it out of Maggie's. We got to get it out of her view. So this project, it's available. The kit is available right now. We don't have all of our kits because we're waiting on some product, but we've got quite a few of them. We got more product coming next week. You can go ahead and order it. If we run out of the existing kits, you can still order it. We have more product coming. We need more of those tags.
And it's
they're on the
going
way.
to be a live class.
It's a live class, and Maggie has the date. It comes with your directions. If you go online under kits, you will find it. What's it called, Maggie?
It's called Halloween.
It's called here's the Halloween mixed media, etc. tag.
So, if you buy the
class.
kit, then you are going to, are they going to have a code or something to get on the live video, or will anybody be able to watch?
I think it'll probably be anybody at this point.
But you can either do the kit on your own with the directions, because we've got the full picture, and then Dawn always does a nice job of getting some close-ups so you can see. So you can do it on your own, or we're going to have a live class on Tuesday, September 28th, 5:30 to 8:30. And it may or may not take that long. We don't know.
Well, we've got plenty of time, so you could like get yourself a beverage and some snacks, get your kit laid out, and we'll have more about this also, I think, won't we, Maggie? Are we going to show this again sometime, or is
I can
sure we
show a few elements here. I used the Tim Holtz shelves. They're called pink trimmed shelves, so it kind of creates a little 3D. There's lots of use of crazing on the pumpkin. I used some crackle.
when you go
glossy
online,
accents.
Maggie has listed all the product that you need to complete it.
And again, a Duratio stick. And Duratio twigs are in there
Someday we're
too.
going to run out of Duratio sticks, but not for a while.
I actually went for a walk last weekend and found some really cool sticks that will go here.
So they got some good sticks.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
kits are $43.99. They come with the lights. They come with all the components.
And the holes will be pre-drilled by Kelly's
Yes.
husband, Doug.
He's drilling the holes for us, so you don't have to worry about that.
And if you decide you don't want the lights, then you can just use the paper as your cover, and then just don't poke the holes through. So
Sounds good.
if you decide you don't
We all
want.
want the lights, though.
But yeah, and then on the back, what's cool about Tim's Tiny Lights is it comes with this little battery pack, and then when you get done using whatever you want to use, you just snip off the rest.
Oh, that's right.
And
I forgot
so,
about that.
yeah, so this is the end, but there was a lot more, probably about this much more, and I just cut off what I didn't need.
And we do have the lights for sale, too, if you just want the lights.
They're called Tiny Lights.
Tiny lights. Maggie, Corrine paid you a very big compliment. She hopes you'll do more Christmas kits.
Oh, thank you.
We hope she does too.
Yeah, we all do. We're all planning on that. So,
Well, I hope you enjoy making the sisal tree.
thank you, everybody. There's a shot of Maggie's Halloween kit that she's going to be doing a live class right here on September 28th. And then today, thank you, Maggie, for showing us your piece on
You
Earth.
are welcome.
Framed mixed media. It's so, so beautiful. And I love that phrase. So we're going to tell everybody goodbye and have a good
Thank
weekend.
you.
We're open today till 4, and we'll be back here tomorrow 10 to 4, and we're here on Sunday noon to 4.
Happy
So,
crafting, and we'll know if you did it or not by looking at your fingers,
yeah,
right?
if you're glittery and inky, then all is good.